Next up is the discussion on the approval of a fee schedule for the records requests. It's a first reading. Kirsten.
So as per the conversation when this fee schedule was established last year, it's coming before you again for renewal for fiscal year 26. None of the prices of any of the copies or scanning have changed. The only thing that changed on it is we made it clearer about the cost to buy a flash drive. If somebody wants to bring home copies of their documents, and we set very clear limits as to what we can email and what we can't. Those email limits are determined by just what's simply tenable with our email system and with most people's receiving email systems. That's where the 20 megabytes comes from. And the number of documents is 10, which is a reasonable amount to attach to an email. We no longer maintain a Dropbox. As we're moving towards SharePoint, it was a redundancy that we didn't need anymore. And as always, people are welcome to view documents without any charge for viewing them on the computer. Here at Town Hall, we actually have a laptop designated for that purpose now. So people can come in and view them on their own if they don't want copies, and then they can always view them first and decide if they do want copies. And as a reminder, back to the conversation when we established this fee schedule last year, part of this is because we get quite a few requests from businesses and organizations to do research for them under 91A, when really what it is they're asking for us to do, for our building and zoning department to do research for them, rather than send their own agents to come in. They're trying to get us to do it for free. And we've been very successful in the past 6 to 8 months working with the building department at encouraging them to employ their own agents to come in and do the research. And as you know, with the town manager's plans for the future, as we digitize more and more of it will be accessible, more records will be accessible online without people having to even request them at all.
Any questions from the council? Go ahead, Deb.
I'm sorry.
That's right.
That's all right. That's why we're
My
here.
reputation, I don't know. So are we still going to be putting the 91As online? Because I went and looked for 2025. There was only like 8 or 10 up there. Are we putting all of these requests up there so this way people don't? So like say 4 people are looking for the same thing and they don't know that those 4 people are looking for the same things, and they're all putting in the same requests, and then we're all, it's being redundant. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to prevent redundancy in a question or getting certain information. So that's my first question.
So to answer that question, I will say that if somebody requests something that somebody's already requested, we just would send them the same files. We are not currently prioritizing putting those documents online simply because of staff demands and time.
Okay, but we will be continuing to.
And that is up to the discretion of the town manager.
So the concern I have for that is a couple of concerns, because we, as you know, where I was before, we were looking to put all these as a library. You could just get them whenever you want. Some things you have to be cautious about. We have DOD contractors here. So if someone asks,
Excuse me, I couldn't hear you.
we have DOD, Department of Defense.
Okay,
They build military things.
thank you.
And then someone wants the design plan of that building, that could be used for ill purposes if it's simply sitting out there, because then anybody can search it. They don't have to give their name. They don't have to provide any information as to who they are. They can just take that information. Not sure we want to do that. If someone says, I'd like to have the new bank that was built on, I'd like to have the design plans and the electrical plans and the alarm plans available. Someone files a right-to-know request, we put it out there, then everybody can get it. Now, if you want to rob that bank, for instance, and get that information, you've got to come here to get it. So you're going to walk into a building, there's video cameras and everything else. You don't have to give your name, but we're at least going to be able to see who you are. So it puts you at a little bit more risk. You got to think about those sorts of things. There's also intellectual property issues when it comes to design plans, copyright issues. So if you simply just put it out there like that, people can search that anywhere in the world. So there are risks with doing that. So that's why I recommend that we don't do that till you further refine that policy and how are you going to get that done.
Okay, so we're thinking about not doing 91As online, like putting them out there. So when citizens
Right.
do it, they're not going to be there online. The other thing is, I was looking at the hard drive things. Mm-hmm. You said 22 I think it was 22. What did I say? 22. I thought I
So
said
the
22.
25 megabytes,
25.
that is the limit to what the file size. So in order for us to email the documents found responsive to a request, it has to be fewer than 10 documents and less than 25 megabytes total.
Okay.
And then the flash drive,
Yeah.
flash drive we purchased,
Which one did we purchase? Because they come in different sizes.
yes, absolutely. So right now, the current ones we have is 32 gigabytes, which would cover 99% of our requests. And we paid $8.99 each.
Right.
I want to be clear that we're ordering these flash drives for security reasons straight from the vendor.
No, that's fine. I agree with that. I'm not disagreeing. My question is, can we have a variety of sizes? So, in other words, excuse me, apologize.
I do understand that, and
And that, like, it would instead of being $9, it would be $2 or $3 if I was only getting the 22. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if I only needed a smaller one.
That would complicate things as far as it's easy to have one, it's easy to order a bunch in the same size, same style, everything else. It's if you have multiple options, staff has to take extra time to decide which one fits which one, and
I mean, really, how much time is that, Sean? You're talking 2 seconds. Which size is it? Okay, 1, 2, 3. You have a little bin. We're here to service. We're a service industry. We're here to do positive things for the people. And, you know, they're asking for something, and it's only filling up a quarter of the thing. Why pay for all of it when you only need a quarter? And so if we can do that for them, that is just being a good servant to the people. It doesn't take that much more time.
just the time it's ordering. When you order things like that, then you have to keep a certain stock. You have to keep a certain stock of three
Okay,
different
and the
types
same could be true for everything. Number of pens, number of pencils, sizes of this. I mean, you're being picky-uni about that. I'm trying to be as polite to the people who pay these people and who
They
they're
also
serving,
become outdated
and good
fast
stuff.
on a smaller scale. So when as documents get bigger, you'll have a bunch that you'll have.
And
for
then it would be
requisition.
nice to know exactly how many times we get these large documents compared to the little documents.
All right, I don't think we let her answer the question. Go ahead.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
personally.
that's quite all right. So my concern with carrying different sizes beyond the simple fact of trying to have to match them up is what happens if we're carrying small, medium, and large sizes of them. What happens if I get 3 requests in a row that would all fit on the small size, and then I have to charge somebody more for the larger sizes? And the cost differential, we don't have $2 or $3 options. We have like $6.99 or $8.99. So the cost difference is just not substantial for the product that we buy. Like I said, we buy straight from the vendor to make sure that they're authentic, that they don't have any malware on there. We work with SanDisk, which is a vendor that we've established. So while I understand what you're
I
saying,
had
yeah,
residents call me and ask me these questions.
absolutely.
That's why I brought these questions forward.
And I've had this conversation several times with different people who have requested it, and I absolutely understand the cost, the question about it.
That's why I'm bringing it out publicly, so
Yep.
that I'm fulfilling my duty
Absolutely.
as a
100%
civil
understand.
servant to these people.
Yep.
The other question I had is, I found out from the town manager that any question coming in, is like if I wanted to see the contract for the new truck or whatever, is considered now a 91A, even though it's not formally a 91A. This was my understanding.
It always was. A request for information is a request for information.
So
No-
it's always a 91A.
Citizens have to say, I'm making a request on the 91. They just say, I'd like to get this.
Okay.
And I get those phone calls now, and I'm like, hold on a second, and I email it to them. Like, that's why we have this 10 documents.
I just want people
no, I
to
know. That's why
understand.
I'm articulating it right now. So it's easier for me to, when I'm on the phone with somebody or I get their email, just to send it to them. I don't need them to fill out a form. I don't need them to make it more difficult than it needs to be. That way they can do their business, whatever, much faster. I've done that where I was before. It's easier especially for the customer, much easier for them. And not only that, if I can email it to them while I'm still on the phone, I might be able to explain a few things to them. So it tends to work better for the customer if I can do that quickly. So that's why we're doing it the way we're doing it, because most of our requests are going to be small items. Like, I need this thing to be able to do this. I don't want them waiting for that. I want to get it out to them so they can do business. And you and I, as we talked about.
No, I totally agree with you. I just want to make sure,
Yes.
because that's not the way we did things in the past.
I
And we would
understand.
have people sit up here saying, staff is overburdened by requests of documents, and there's tons and tons of documents. I wanted people to
Yes.
understand the levels of the different
So,
requests.
Most of the requests are pretty easy. You're
Simple.
going to find that 90% of the people who make requests, they just need something for whatever business they're doing. They just want to find out about something. And I want to deal with those really quick. Just get it out. I don't want them filling out a form. I just want to get it to them. The more comprehensive ones, they do take a lot of staff time. And that's the smaller number of documents eat up a lot of staff time, unfortunately. But they're necessary, and we have a process in which to do that. We're not trying to make it more burdensome than we have to, but that's where you want the request, and you want it in detail so we get them what they want. Because a lot of times we send them what they want, what we think they want, or what they think they want, and it's really not what they're looking for, and now we're back to spending more staff time trying to figure it out. So
Right.
That's why we have the request form that's more appropriate for that. I'll take the request form for the smaller documents, but again, if you call me on the phone, you text me, email me, I'm just going to send it to you.
And I appreciate you taking the time to explain that to people in the audience and so they understand. Thank you. And thank you, Kristen.
You're welcome. And Councilor Paul, just to let you know, I just went on the business site. Currently, the smallest flash drive that they have of the quality that we'll use is 16 gigabytes on the SAN drive, the standardized one we picked, and they actually don't even have any in stock. So the one I purchased was the least expensive one. The 32 gigabyte that I have right now is the
That's
smallest
fine.
one.
Like I said, they weren't my questions because I don't even know what a gigabyte is. So that being
Absolutely.
said, I just know they get long because when you ask for emails, they're repetitive. Like you have to get all of my emails, all of this email, and the emails are actually all the same. And, so it's a lot of documents for just a little bit of information. But thank you.
Any other questions from the council?
So our next step is just a public hearing?
Correct. This is just the first reading.
Okay.
All right.